everyone, and welcome back to the Absolutely Football podcast, Absolute Lower League, the show that now only brings you 3 leagues since we've had 3 leagues taken off us on Monday night. We are the Championship, we are League 1 and we are League 2. And this week's a very special week because we're going to talk about the playoffs. We do have some breaking news. That's Claire's literally just put in. Ruben Sellers has been sacked as Hull manager, so we'll talk about that pretty much straight away. But I am your host, Dan Waterson. As you can tell, I am very, very happy. And as you can more than likely tell, I've got my top back on after Tuesday night, so I have managed to find it. Never went that far in the crowd, I'm afraid. Obviously, Shah is not here tonight. She is watching Rochdale versus Southend, and Rochdale are currently 2-1 up, so how are the deal? We do have the top in the background, just for those who were checking. But yeah, I could not do this on my own, and God knows what I want to do. So I've got a selection of my bezies who've decided they're going to not watch Charlton versus Wickham, which has got no shots on target so far, and come and talk to me. Well, Jen, how's it going?
It's going well. It's going well. Yeah, I'm having a good week. Just watching the football and enjoying it as a neutral. It's great to see everyone stressing, and I'm just like chilled. It's great.
Well, I was stressing on Tuesday, I will say that. So, yeah. Claire, how's it? I'm so sorry, Claire. I daren't ask this question, but how are you?
Fake it till you make it.
Great. I'm great.
No, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Dan, at least you've had a week. You'd be over the moon, wouldn't you? A week of, I'm going to watch football as a neutral. I know that we're already promoted. Let's watch 4 teams in the playoffs, have heart rates of 180.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying it, enjoying the ride. Although a bit of the week's been tampered with because we might be losing CG and Riley on a free, so that's not good for us when we're trying to strike up a defensive partnership. But other than that, everyone's living the dream.
Damn right.
Fight.
Let's kick it off in the Charlton game, is it? Is this the Charlton game?
Yeah, they're just being silly.
They're just being silly. Fair enough. And we'll say hello to the chat, Mr. Luke. Reed, everyone. I don't know why I went there, Reed, as if I couldn't say it. I'm from the same place as him. Reed, everyone watching 2 playoff semi-finals at once. What a life I'm living right now. But DAZN or DAZN coverage on the National League is severely disappointing. A few people have said that, Luke, to be fair. So
yeah, it's horrific. Can't wait for this next season. So excited.
We've also got Graham. Evening all. Heart rate currently at about 250. I know what you're going through, mate. It was the same on Tuesday night. Probably doubled, to be honest. Kate, evening, everyone.
Hi, Kate.
Football League Adventures. Evening, guys. Have a great pod. We'll try our best. At least the music's worked this week, so we're already doing a lot better than when I last hosted. Kyle, good evening, legends. My favourite day of the week. Plus, I'm celebrating my birthday and getting wrecked. Who wants to sing? Because I'm not doing it like that. Go on then.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Husky Kyle. Happy birthday to you. Hip, hip.
Hey.
Have a good mate.
That was good. That was fun. Happy birthday, Kyle. Anyway. Happy birthday, mate. I hope you're having a great day. And all the best people were born in May. So there we are. Sean, good evening, you absolute legends. Hope all as well. Yeah, it's brilliant, mate. Kyle, thanks, guys. So, shall we talk about some football? Just for anyone who is kind of graphics mad in the podcast and everything like that, we have no graphics tonight because I set the Shah last night. Don't worry about me. Have a night off. Enjoy Rochdale. And there was about 4 games we've got to cover. So I didn't see the point. Shall we quickly just talk about Ruben Sellers from Hull, because obviously that's the breaking news. I know it was getting mentioned like last week when the last few games were getting played. I know like Hull have just survived by the skin of the teeth, but I thought he did like a really, really good job there, coming from firefighter, isn't he? Like, he did a great heading, did a really, really good job at Hull.
Yeah. And he was brought in to stop them from going down, and he achieved it. Like, to sack 3 managers in a period of 12 months. Like, who on earth do they think they're going to attract? That's an average of 4 months per manager. Shocking. Like, you can't expect a manager to turn around a football club in such a short space of time. Like, I think the problem is the owner just wants this fancy 4-3-3 football tippy-tappy shite, and he's not going to get that with him. And especially not with a group of players that are not his own. Like, come on, like, you have to give him, like, freedom of a transfer market, or I don't know, like, have his own slant on the recruitment at least. But I just think, like it's just shocking, isn't it? It's done such a good job at Reading, like, and he even said at the time, it's actually a really difficult choice to leave Reading. I just think he's been treated dreadfully.
Yeah. This, by the way, from Sean, it is that, it's Watford 2.0.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you look at the way Hull are, it's a little bit. You remember Notts County when they decided they were going to throw money at it, Sven, Sol, the whole shebang. That's what Hull sort of did. They had Jean-Michel Sterry and all that lot come in and think they were going to get promoted to the Premier League, and it just didn't pay off for them. They've ended up, I think he's won 2 of the last 9 games, and that's what they've based his sacking on. Like that. That's bad. You're in a relegation fight. It's clear to see you're not going to win all 9 games. If you do, remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. You've managed to keep them up. Nobody were even speaking about Hull on the final day, really, because everyone were more bothered at whether it's going to be Luton or Derby or Preston. But then, everyone thought, Hull have done it. It's fine. It's really bitter pill to swallow. And for him, he can hold his head high and just say, you know what, I went in there, I was told to keep them up, I kept them up. So my next job, I've already achieved the objective that I was set out to do. So don't look at me as a manager who's just going to keep teams up. I have got a lot better pedigree than that, and I think he will go on to a bigger and better things.
Like, surely you're regretting it anyway, because look at Liam Rosenior, how well he's doing now. Like, we all said, I remember having a conversation last year, like, what are they doing? Sacking him, he's done such a good job. And they've gone backwards in that amount of time. But with Ruben Sellers in the last 15 games, they've not conceded more than 1 goal. So it might not be attractive football, but he's working with what he's already got, tightening up the ship.
I remember, like, when we played them, when it was the manager before Sellers was in, and we got a 1-0 win down there. But then they beat us up here. I think fairly sure they were the first team to beat us at home. I know we went on to lose like a fair few since then, but sure they were the first team, and they look good. I mean, they rode the look a little bit, but they were very well set up defensively. Got a goal, and I thought, you know what, I said when he came in, he'll keep them up. He'll do a really good job. And for me, Jen, I'll ask you for this, because obviously, with Morecambe, they've obviously kept faith with the manager for a long period of time, even though they could have pushed the button. And it just shows that, like, longevity in football now it's very rare, isn't it? Like a lot of clubs want success now, and what else kind of like brings us to? I know it was mentioned on Tuesday night, but you look at the Forest owner who stupidly went on the pitch at full line, having a go at their manager who's done an absolutely remarkable job. People want success like that, and they want it too soon, I think, especially with Hull. It's madness, I think. I really do.
How clever is that manager as well?
Yeah, it confuses me from my point of view. Obviously, Derek tried to keep us up. It was an impossible job this season. It wasn't going to happen. We knew that. But the fact that he stayed when he was on a rolling contract, he could have walked away. And he's coming back next season in the National League with 2 relegations on his CV. Just shows that if you put faith in the right manager, that manager's probably going to give you back what you deserve. And if we didn't have Derek going into National League, I wouldn't be as positive as I am, because you're not going to get someone like him who knows the club inside out and knows everything. I think from Hull, for them sacking him, I think is absolutely ridiculous, because they could easily fight in that league next season if he was still manager, but now they're going to have to go and find another manager that's going to have to get new players and learn these new players and get to know them again. It's just a cycle that they just seem to be doing, and I just think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Just quick before we move on, Sam has said hello. And happy Thursday, all. Never mind Eurovision. Haven't got shit on his wonderful four. They could probably sing better, but apart from that, I agree. And there's two lasses as well. There we go. And Kieran's waved. Hi, Kieran. There we go. Yeah, I mean, it's just mad. I really don't agree with it at all. And you know what? It kind of makes you, as much as I think Hull are a half decent club, everything like that, kind of makes you think, you kind of just want to go down next season, don't you? So that's the way the treat people. You just got to roll it. You know what I mean? It's it's a little bit crazy. But shall we talk about a little bit more happy news for a club that we do mention quite a lot on this podcast, and that's Reading. Obviously, takeover has now been confirmed. I think it was confirmed. Was it yesterday? It got confirmed. Claire, I'll go back to you on it, because obviously you're the League One expert in this group. But tremendous for them, tremendous for the fans. They've got a team again. Fingers crossed now. I mean, they've done a remarkable job this year, just missing out on the playoffs. Great to see them, just having life again, to be fair.
Yeah, 100%. Like you say, we've mentioned it so many times, but like the relief their fans must be feeling to have that man gone forever from their team. But like the Sell Before We Die campaign as well, you can't talk about Reading without, shedding some light on them again, because what an absolutely amazing job they have done at being constructively, right. They've been constructive, they've been classy, but they've made noise, and they've made noise in the right way, and at the right times. And I think the campaign that they've done, it's obvious, like they'd never wanted the club to go out of existence, but the amount of different things they've done, and they've come out and said we'll support other teams that are going through it, it's not just us. And obviously they mentioned about Morecambe. I just thought, what, fair play, because even though they're all buzzing, they're still taking that time to talk about shit owners. But I think the club of Reading is a sleeping giant. It's such a massive club. And I just hope for their fans now that they can just sort of fly. They deserve to come out the other side and have pride again, really, in this, not in the team, but in the club.
Yeah.
The shout out again for what the team have managed to achieve this year, just narrowly missing out on the playoffs, but you can't. Yeah, just buzzing for them.
Yeah.
Buzzing.
And it goes to show again, we've obviously mentioned it before, haven't we, that the job that Sellers did there, to get them on that even keel. They've kicked on since, don't get us wrong, but just fantastic. As Luke's just put it, brilliant news for Reading, securing new owners. Could be more delighted for them. I think all of us are. I don't think anyone's got a bad word to say about Reading Football Club. They're just one of them. They're one of them teams like where it's a good away day, but it's a long way to go, but it's a nice away day. It's a nice ground. Nice people. It's just it's one of them ones, and it goes to show Jen it can happen. So keep your fingers crossed for Morgan.
Hopefully. It's like Claire said, the fact that Sell Before We Die, what they've done, not just for Reading, but other clubs like us, like lower ones than us, they've put their voices out and they've listened to us and helped our protest groups and stuff like that. So I think they deserve everything they've got, and I really, really hope they have a fantastic season next season now.
Yeah. Just quickly, Dad, I'll give you the floor on Reading, but it's half time in the Charlton and Wickham thriller, shall we say. It's 0-0. And obviously, Sam's put, what's a half-time verdict, playing well. And Graham's put, we've grown into the game, Sam, finished it stronger, just need a better final ball and not try long balls too often. Wickham offered very little, confident but still petrified. And he's just up there. I'm a rep already. To which he said, please for Reading, one less shit owner to worry about. And that's what it is, Dan, isn't it? That at least now, there's still, don't get us wrong, there's still a lot of shit owners in the Football League, but there's one less, and fingers crossed that someone like that man can never own a football club in this country again, because what he's done to that club's just nothing short of disgusting, to be fair.
No, he's up there with the likes of Dale Vince, Bury, and people like that just like to chastise clubs. Any person that goes into a club thinking they're going to make money is ridiculously stupid. It's, a football club is an investment. You're putting money in and hoping that eventually it will, bear fruits. But when you're a sort of chairman of a club of Reading stature, that again, like Claire said, a sleeping giant that has fallen down the leagues. We saw, I think I mentioned it the other week, the likes of Leeds, Southampton, and those clubs that have had their heyday and have dropped into League One and then had to rebuild and bring themselves back. It's good
and us.
Yes. Don't forget Sunderland. But from what I remember is, I think the guy who's bought it or who's taken chairman role is, he used to be Wycombe's chairman, if I'm not mistaken. I think he stepped down from them last year. But he wanted to have a takeover of Reading, the other year, but Dye just couldn't give it up, to be quite honest with you. So I'm glad to see that it's not just they've sorted out the first team. It's going to be all the way down to, the academy, the training ground. Everything is now going to be transparent, sustainability with finances. And fingers crossed, given time, we'll also see the women's side get back into it as well, because I think they withdrew from the second tier as well due to financial issues. So
they went down 3 divisions and they've barely got a team now. They've been getting hammered every week.
It's mad. It's mad, but the good times will come again for Reading. We all remember the days. Stephen Hunt, Nolan, Kevin Doyle up top, Dave Kitson, the big ginger beast.
The
Manchester Stockport boy.
He was there last night, wasn't he? He was on the telly.
Yeah.
Sky. Yeah. You're right, though. It is, and as Claire mentioned before, the sleeping giant thing's spot on with them, because they're an ex-Premier League side, and that's not so long ago. It's in recent memory, isn't it? You know what I mean? So,
under the days of Steve Coppell.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed they could just get back to where they belong, really, even if that's Championship for a few years or whatever. But we'll see what's happening. But Aled has joined this evening, Aled.
Hi, Aled. Go easy on me.
Shall we go League 2 first, do you think? Because that's only halfway there, isn't it? Because I think their games tomorrow and Saturday. These playoff games just have my head battered. I didn't even know. I only knew Rochdale were playing tonight when Charles said last night he's all right host. I was like, they're not playing another day. It's mad. It's just games everywhere. But so on Saturday it was Notts County 0, AFC Wimbledon 1. AFC Wimbledon, Riley Harbottle was a great name, scoring the goal for Wimbledon, and County had Alessandra Jatta sent off. But looking at the stats, I don't know if anyone watched it, but County seem to have had majority of the game, and Wimbledon hit them with a little bit of a sucker punch. But do we expect Wimbledon to see that out over wherever they play now? It's Plough Lane, isn't it? See if they go back to Plough Lane and see that out. Do you think?
Yeah. I think Wimbledon have gone a little bit under people's radar this season.
I agree. I agree with that.
For quite a long time. They've never been the one on anyone's tongue. But can we also just talk about the red card?
Yeah, if you want, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
What an absolute imbecile. He's gone in 2-footed, but he's not made much contact. So, it's doing that funky thing.
I love that.
That is so cool.
So for me, I was a bit, it might be a bit of a harsh red. You know, I can see why it's been given, but I'm not sure. And then he just completely lost his head. Like, he could have had 2 red cards after the red card for kicking out.
Was it like the Matthias Cunha one for Wolves a few weeks ago, where he just went, I've had enough of this shit.
Like, he basically went to the guy that he'd just like 2-footed and basically like pushed him. What else did he do? I can't remember what else he did. Like, hit someone or something. But like, what are you doing, mate? Like, if you don't think it's a red card, go off and appeal it. But honestly, he well and truly lost his head. But I did think it was a pretty good tie. Notts County are a very attacking team. But I also did feel that on the balance of play, Wimbledon had the better chances.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like it was necessarily a bad win for them. But I think in all the playoff matches so far, the possession-based teams are not doing very well.
No, and we will get into that a little bit later on. But I mean, and also Graham's having a little bit of a bite back, so you've got a nibble there. I never said it was a good game, Mr. Jeffs. I just said how it was. As long as we win, I don't care if it's the worst game ever, which is fair enough, to be fair. Yeah, Jack could have had 3 red cards. I'm gonna have to see it now. Like, I love shit like that.
Look at Donald.
His head went his biggest game of the season. Yeah, that's true.
Mickey Mouse is there too.
Okay, cool. And Ryan, who follows me on Twitter, hi Ryan. Yeah, we're talking about them now. I'm going to leave it till last, I think, because we've got a lot to get through. But the other game in the League Two playoffs was Chesterfield versus Walsall. Chesterfield 0, Walsall 2. Now everyone was expecting Walsall because, you know, they did bottle it, didn't they? The bottle going up. They were like 15 points clear at Christmas. Ended up not going up. But you've got to give them credit there, haven't you? Like, 2-0 against a good side. And Claire, you mentioned before, right, about possession-based football, right? Chesterfield had 74% possession, completed 632 passes, 86 pass accuracy. Walsall had 222 passes, only 26%. 2-0. Every week on this podcast, there is only one stat that matters in football, and it's the final score. But I mean, Jen, what obviously you've seen both of these teams play this year. Do you think, obviously, as I mentioned before, with Walsall, really, stuttering, and Chesterfield were doing quite well. They're quite good end of the season, didn't they? A difficult one. It's going to be a difficult one at the best score for Chesterfield to get anything out of.
Yeah, it's absolutely shocking what Walsall did at the end of the season, because they are a very, very good side. When they played against us, they were the best. But as I've said before, when you don't shake Derek Adams' hand, he will come back and bite you in the ass. So that's what happens, Walsall, and that's why it didn't go up automatically. But I think it's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be a really, really tough second leg. I think it could go either way, but I think Walsall are going to nick it.
Can I just stop everyone? It is 3-1 to Rochdale. Devante Rodney, baby.
I must say, since I've put it on today, I can understand the hype around this player, because he is unbelievable to watch. I just hope he's not there next season. But if they go up, fair play, you can stay. But just don't be there if you don't go up. Yeah, thanks.
They might do it. They might do it. And also, loving the shirt, and I love that top. I'd already told you that, didn't I? That's a beautiful football top. That, to be fair, it is stunning. And there we go, Dale, 3-1 to the Dale. Class. We're over the moon. Roll them in, and someone finally beat Spenny Fan Chris to the punch there, and it was Dan.
Where is he?
I don't know, he might be at work. My dad is pitch side for the Rochdale game, so Sharsh is on the pitch in a minute, I think.
Yeah.
Devante Rodney on a hat-trick. But yeah, just very quickly to sum up the Walsall ones. I think they both play tomorrow, don't they? Does anyone see like County or Chesterfield actually getting anything back? Or I think that the Notts County ones still like it's only 1-0, anything could happen, but 2-0 away from home, you're going to be struggling if you're a Chesterfield fan, I think.
Yeah, I feel like 2-0 is always so hard to come back from. Like 1-0 you could probably do easy, but 2 I feel is a little bit challenging. But if they get an early goal, anything's possible. If they get it in the first half, they can easily come back and draw and take it to extra time for sure.
There we go.
It's quite difficult as well, though, like with the fact that Chesterfield are now away from home. So, they've got a trip to Poundland on Friday. I can't believe they called it the Poundland Bescott Stadium, but yeah. What are you doing on Friday night? Oh, I was just going Poundland.
To be fair, I fucks to him because they must get a lot of money from that sponsorship.
Yeah.
Especially the location, because you get the Poundland advert going past on the motorway.
It's the halfway mark for away games, isn't it? When you live up north, it's
even
the
if
halfway
you're
mark.
right down south. Oh, past Boswell.
But no, and the Notts County Wimbledon game, I think again, Notts County have given a very good account of themselves this season, but it's not. I think everyone's sort of rooting for Wimbledon because they've seen the franchise have the day. So it'd be nice to see Wimbledon have their sort of moment in the sunshine as well.
Yeah, no, totally. It'll be good if that's the final. It'll be. I think it's a good story, no matter what, isn't it? If Walsall go up because they've been down the doldrums a little while, and then Wimbledon. I think everyone just wants to see Wimbledon do well after what you mentioned about the franchise and getting their way back up, making their way back up. It's just nice though. Yeah, and there's a lot of love for the Morecambe away shirt tonight. So there we are. I think I'm gonna have to get one as well. Is the sales on yet?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy one. I'm gonna buy one.
Yeah.
That still owes me a stuck portrait. I'm not an 82, yeah.
I know it too. I'm going to do a different one though, because I decided with the one I got you, it was from the season that was Daisy's first season. So I was like, do you know what? I'm sorry, Anna, but that's going in a box for Daisy's 18th. I'll get you one next season. Actually, sorry, I'll get you one from this season because they're on sale now for 20 quid.
There we go. There we go. I'll hang it up. Look, you can have like pride of place. Do you want a pink one or a
blue one?
What's the away one?
So the away one, gotta say I'm not much of a fan. It's blue and yellow.
No, not blue. Blue. Yeah. I don't take pride of place on my girlfriend's mirror. We've had Swindon there, we've had Rochdale, we've had Sunderland, can't remember where else. Plymouth, I think. But yeah, it is a nice shirt, to be fair. While you're on, then shall we talk League One? Do you want to talk about it? Because we can't talk about Charlton versus Wickham because nothing's happened in the game and a half that there's been already. Do you want to? Shall we talk about Saturday first and the ridiculous offside decision, which was just awful.
Like absolutely awful. I have to say though, and it annoys me to say it, when you watch it live speed, you can see the ball has gone that way, gone that way, gone that way, gone that way. The liner isn't in line with play. So he's trying to get back and he doesn't see it flick off his head. The rest of the ground saw it. Like, it was an awful decision. Like, there's no getting around it. But I feel like it's just another example of the extremely poor officiating in the lower leagues of football. Not even just lower leagues, like just in general. I think, I've got something in my tooth, Anna. Oh, look. All that time that, like, we've gone through the leagues, there's not been that much improvement in the standard.
No, I think we've got worse.
And I know this is going off on a bit of a tangent, but these days, who would want to do that job? Because the amount of abuse they get. Having said that, shit decision cost us, I think, a win in that first leg. We both should have had a penalty that wasn't given. So who knows what would have happened with that. But, like, that's, like, our biggest game of the season at that point. And you being outdone with a decision like that, that is just absolutely dreadful. Having said that, didn't play very well first half. Second half, I thought it was a much different game. We played some really good football. It was what it was, you know, even going back to Edgeley Park. Seeing, and, you know, it just another bit of proof about the team that we've got now and some of the lads we've got playing for us. There's no egos. Even these players that have played at the top level, there's no egos. You know, there's pictures all over social media of like the players on the train, like sitting with fans, interacting with fans. Corey Adayu got so much stick earlier in the season, sitting playing Uno with a kid. Like, that kid's going to remember that forever.
Yeah.
Like, is your hero is one of your football team. Yeah. Like, I just think, yeah, it is what it was. What did everyone else think of that game?
The first leg?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a great game of football, I've got to be honest. Thought it was very nervy, wasn't it? Like, from both sides. I think it got to a point where no side wanted to lose, which is fair enough on the first leg and everything. But I thought Stockport deserved to win. And I thought it was a little bit harsh, it being a draw, you know, with, you know, them getting the penalties right towards the end as well, wasn't it? So yeah, it was a good game to watch. Don't get us wrong, but I felt it was just a bit too nervy. I've watched Hughes play a couple of times, obviously on the red button and all that, and I think he's played some lovely football. I think it was proven last night. I thought he played some good stuff last night, but I thought that was missing on Saturday, and I think it's just all down on nerves. And that's, they're only human. The footballers are only human. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I will agree with Mr. Luke, and I know you mentioned this lad a lot, but Ethan Pye, what a footballer, man.
Yeah.
He'll be in the championship next year, won't he?
I'm gonna talk about him after yesterday's match. That's all right, because yeah.
Cool.
I do agree that he is some player, and there's a rhyme and reason for it. Might I just add? But shall I just talk about it and get it out of the way?
For it. Yeah. You just said tomorrow, last night, Edgeley Park.
It hurts. Like, it genuinely hurts. Like a pit in your stomach kind of hurt. And I think I didn't expect to be as bothered as I was, because the amount of times that I've said I'm not necessarily 100% sure we're ready for it doesn't mean I don't want it to happen. It just means, like, is it too soon? Like, sucker punch, like, such an early goal. Well taken goal. I can't say it wasn't, but such an early goal. Silly defending. And we've just obviously let him get a foot in the game. And then I thought we played some quite nice football. The keeper's made some saves. We've hit the woodwork a couple of times. But, like, Odin Bailey and Tanto at the end, they've both got to do better in that position. But I think when it went to penalties, I just think the whole demeanour of the players, like the way they carried themselves, I just felt like, oh yeah, this isn't going to be our night. I thought we played pretty well on the day, you know, and I'd rather lose now than go and lose at Wembley. So at least we've saved ourselves a bit of money.
Yeah,
But
true.
truly, when the dust settles and it stops hurting like it hurts, because it will take a bit of getting over. I don't know. I've never had a feeling like it from a good position. It's always been like relegations before, and obviously it's a good thing to be disappointed about.
Yeah.
But
He's put this comment in. Hurt more than Carlisle. Is that your opinion as well? Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Carlisle match, we had so many players out injured. It was like Ryan Rydell hadn't trained for a week before the final. Like, it was like limp into the game and do what you can. But I've written a few things, nothing much, but so I don't really know what to say. But I just feel like at the minute I'm just sad.
Yeah.
And I feel like, do you know what? That's fine. I'm just a bit sad right now. But once that settles, and even now actually, my overwhelming feeling is pride. Like, I am so, so, so proud of my club. Like, we're on upwards trajectory. Can't say it. What an incredible, amazing, superb first season back in League One. At the beginning of the season, nobody would have predicted us to finish third in that league. And I'm just so proud that we did that. I think these things do happen for a reason. And like I say, it hurts right now. It's a bit sad right now. But we are on the up.
Yeah.
We've had 3 promotions in 6 calendar years. We're on the up. Things are gonna, it's gonna happen. Our owner, the absolutely incredible Mark Stott, who we should build a shrine for, quite frankly. He wants us in the Championship by 2027. And I feel like that's 100% achievable. There'll be some changes over the summer. We'll dust ourselves down. I don't like that saying "we go again." I don't like it. It's horrible. But what else can you do? I just wish Leyton Orient all the best, if I'm being honest. I thought the fans were outstanding. Even chatting to some of them after the match, they could tell you were a bit sad, and they weren't like, "Hey," you're like, "All the best next season. Hope you do it." And obviously, since I like to see the humour in all of these things, did you see Richie Wellens pretty much cheering Charlie's face when the winning penalty went in? Because I love a bit of shithousing. That's a bit of shithousing.
He apologised afterwards, or didn't he? He went back to him, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, just classy. It's just, I think, I said it before and before we came live, losing on penalties is just the cruelest way to lose a match. But on the flip side, winning on penalties is the best way to win a match like that. I just think go on better next season.
Yeah. Just quickly on the penalties, because
you've got a rant.
Yeah, you have, and and Darren said the same thing as well. I knew we were losers who got the penalties, and you know what? Like, because obviously, I watched quite a lot of the game last night. It felt that way. It felt. I thought you needed to win. Like, you had the chance in added time in the 90 minutes. It was a time who had that chance right at the end of the game, which would have won the game. And then
Bailey hitting the post.
And then he hit the post. Yeah. The keepers made 2 really good saves as well in extra time, and it just felt that it was all aligning towards
slipping away.
That Leyton Orient would get away with it, because that's the way.
I don't know if you can see it, but I have actually written here. Had a feeling after missing such good chances and the way the players looked heading into penalties, and then I've put, see this bit.
Pen rant.
So,
I've got a penalty rant.
I mean, go ahead with it.
Buckle up.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're going to say.
I did put it in our chat, so
yeah. And you know what? You're going to pick on a lad I really like as well, aren't you?
I'm not. Because one of theirs did it as well. His went in, it's a 50-50, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're going to take a penalty, run up and smash the ball. Do not stutter, because you look like an absolute clown, whoever you are. Just run up and smash it. Do you know what? If it doesn't go in, don't go in. Ryan Mardell, Exhibit A. He's done everything right with that penalty. He's ran up and he's smashed that ball. It's just so unfortunate it's come off the post.
Well, he's hit it too well, hasn't he? He's just hit that too well.
Straight off.
Yeah.
Actual big shout out to Ryan Mardell, because he's the one who missed our penalty at Wembley. He's not missed a penalty for 2 weeks in training because they've been practicing the penalties. So it's just what happens on the night. But coming up second after that at Wembley a couple of years ago, and he was devastated 2 years ago, crying, inconsolable. Like, fine. Do you know what? I can take that. Is hit the penalty. It's not gone in. Whoopie-doo. Don't stutter. Run up and hit that ball. Jackie Diamond, we love you. We sing Super Jack Diamond. That's not to be understated. But come on, be super. Be brave. Be bold. Smash the ball.
Do you think, though, in training, right? And I'll bring you all in on this, actually. Do you think in training, Southend have just pulled one back, by the way. So it's 3-2, so that's going to be a nervy end for poor Shaw. Christ.
Bite your fingernails.
That's going to be so nervy. But do you think, like I said, I'll bring you all in on this. Do you think in training, when they are, because everyone, you do practice it, don't you? You do practice penalties for the case of this event. Do you think they do the stuttering and all that in training? Because I can't see a manager, like any manager worth his salt, saying to somebody, that's a great penalty, that. Because you're losing that, you lose all momentum. So, like, you're having to, so you're basically doing a run up from about a yard out. Yeah. You can't get any power behind. Fair enough, if you put the keeper the wrong way, it looks good, doesn't it? It just looks good.
Yeah, but when the keeper don't move, you look even worse. Because then
exactly. Yeah, and it looked last night. It looked last night like a really shit penalty. And I'm sure it wasn't, you know what I mean? I'm sure like he's put a bit of power behind it and stuff like that. But it looked like a back pass. It looked like a back pass, didn't it? So, I mean, like, do you think that happens in training? How it done, Jen? Help me out here.
No. There's not a chance Derek Adams stands in training and knocks someone like that. Can you imagine Derek Adams, an angry Scottish man, stood there while someone stutters while taking a penalty?
Doing your weekend.
He will literally be off penalties and never be taking a penalty ever again if he did it in training. So it definitely doesn't happen with us.
Especially Burnley under Sean Dyche, I couldn't see that ever being one of those things. He was one of them where I don't want no cameras around the training ground. You wear headphones, I'm going to clip your ears. I'm going to do it. It was that sort of gaffer. It was literally smash it, hit it hard, just do what you want with it. But I really don't understand it. You know, I look back at some of the penalty takers we've had, and the likes of Graham Alexander, one of the best penalty takers in the EFL, absolutely outstanding. And to be fair, when I've played football after watching him, I do the same thing now, where I just stand in the middle, and if I'm going to hit it, I'll just run up to it straight. I won't stand to the side or like that. I'll just go, guess, bitch. I'm going for it. But yeah. That's what you've got to do. Just hit and hope. That's the best kit. That's the best thing in a penalty shootout.
Correct.
Like Claire said, we've all seen those penalty shootouts that we've lost. I look back to our capital punishment run in 2008 prior to promotion under Owen Coyle, beating Chelsea on penalties, making Luis Felipe Scolari lose his job at Chelsea by beating him on pens. And you're just like, what? You're walking away from Stamford Bridge just thinking, fucking old Burnley's just beating Chelsea. What the hell? It's cruel, but it's kind on the other side, depending on what side you're on. Just smash the shit out of it. T-wat it how hard as you can.
Correct.
Just do what you want with it.
Yeah. Correct. And you know what? I totally agree with the lad who took the third penalty, as you mentioned before. he's hit that perfectly. He's actually hit that too well. That's why it's hit off the angle of the post and then come out. Because even if he just scuffs that, it goes in. Because the keeper's nowhere near it. You know, the keeper actually thought he turned around, thought it went in, didn't he? When it hit the post, and he had to wait till it rolled across the line. But yeah, Sam's put this, and this was bang on in the chat last night. Right, the collective heartache lower league chat after the penalty shootout loss for Clare was emotional, but just lovely to see everyone coming together because we didn't we? We all had a nice.
Yeah. Do you know what? I actually said thank you to you all this morning because I was like, oh my god, like that is just such a lovely like. It was so heartwarming, and like I could feel the love, and I genuinely really appreciated it. Genuinely.
But you know what? Stockport have had their stuff over the years, but even I wanted, Burnley, Ollie Norwood and Stockport to do something. So I was rooting.
That actually made me a bit emotional, and but in an appreciative way. Like I was really grateful.
Yeah.
But just to touch as well on the Ethan Pye thing, insanely good talent, incredible. I'm worried now because I thought if we went up, we'd keep him. I think he'd be moving on in the summer. Like Arsenal have been tracking him.
Yeah.
Arsenal. He's 21, but he's such a good left-sided player. Oh my God, he's incredible. But he stood crying at the Cheerleading last night, and he just stood there on his own looking, and you could tell he was so sad. But it felt like a goodbye. But it truly felt like a goodbye.
Do you know what? I can see. It depends what league we're in. But I could see like he's a Christian Speakman signing. Like he's a young lad. He's got plenty of potential. He's someone we could bring in if he's in 2 or 3 years. He massively improves. We can get a huge, return for him. Give you guys a sell on face. Something like that. It really does look like a Christian Speakman signing for Sunderland.
So good, and
so he's not put the Sunderland. He is class, like
genuinely as well. I truly believe he could go and slot in to any team in the Championship without any issue.
Yeah, I agree. I think like you're looking at see a Birmingham. Birmingham might look at him, mightn't they? They're going to be spending a lot of money on it. But yeah, he was class last night. Over the both games, thought he was really, really good. But just to touch on your season, you meant it's 3-3. Southend have equalised.
Oh
no!
It's coming. Shocking defending again.
Oh no!
The second one were bad, weren't it? Because obviously
that was
free as a bird. It comes off the post.
Awful.
And then they're just watching it.
Anyone watching Charlton Wickham is fast asleep apart from Graham because he's got us to keep him.
Still 0-0.
This privilege. I'm using the 3-3 rather than the 0-0.
I'm just worried for Shah now. Like, I'm so
Come
worried.
On.
Should we go through all the emotions?
Hendo's on.
Yeah, we'll be great to see him. Yeah, we'll get back into that.
Hendo.
Yeah, Howie Hendo. Oh yeah, because it's his last. It's at his last game at his last game at Crown Isle, won't it? Because I think they're away aren't they, to get through this one. So it's one of them, isn't it? It's meant to be. It's meant to be. Come on, Dale.
Up the deal.
All right, Dale. But just to go back on you, because you mentioned it before about your season, and we said, I remember us doing the preview show and stuff like that, and we said, I think I'd said to you, you take this season on the chin. If you finish mid-table or whatever, it'll be a great season. And then, you get off to a really, really good start. But then Louis Barry leaves, and everyone said, once Louis Barry's gone, that'll be it. And you've been class since. You've just mentioned there, right? You've come third in your first season in League One. Mm-hmm. Yes, you've got the teams that have gone up. Birmingham, who have got a lot of money. Wrexham, who have got a lot of money and signed a lot of players, as have Birmingham. Birmingham spent 15 million quid on a striker. And then you've got in the play, you've got these massive League One teams, your Boltons, your Huddersfields, your Barnsleys, nowhere near. And you got Stockport, Leighton Orient playing that game up last night. Was great from a neutral football fan. Considering where you've been, where Orient have been. It was a pity there was a loser because I wanted that to be the final. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just two teams that have really, really, gone through the ringer as clubs, and the fans like that deserve a lot. And I've just got to tip my hat to both sides. I thought last night was a really good tie, really good game of football. But obviously, I wanted to stop Porto away, and I've just got to tip my hat to you because I thought you were outstanding. And I think next year it might be it depends who you sign, depends who you keep in, but with them saying 2027 we want to be in the Championship, I can't see any reason why that shouldn't happen. I really think you'll have a good go of it next year. So
I am slightly, more than slightly concerned. I genuinely feel the best thing we could do in pre-season is keep Dave Challoner.
Massively.
It's such a concern to think now he's going to be such a target for so many clubs. And he deserves a chance at the Championship. He's improved every season. It shows how quick he can learn. I just want it to be with us. I feel like it's got a safe job at us now.
Well, he won't go to Hull, will he? I mean, he's mad if he does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hope not.
The thing I'd say as well, out of the two teams, Orient and yourselves, that whoever lost that, I think Richie Wellens wouldn't have had the same effect going into next season. You know, if it was a case of one of you, if that was the final, I think Richie Wellens wouldn't have had the same effect as Dave Challoner goes into next season thinking, look at what we've just achieved in our first season back. Look at where we can go this coming season.
Also,
I think Challoner's got the better option of rallying the troops than Richie Wellens would have had.
Agree. Also, I genuinely believe at this point, having watched all of the teams, that Leighton Orient are going to win the final. Tell me what happens when all these good players of theirs go back to the parent clubs, because half of them are on loan.
Yeah. And it's not that big of a financial gain from League One to Championship, is it? It's obviously Championship to Premier League where the financial gain is, but you've seen what's happened in the last 2 years. Even that isn't enough, you know. And
it's mad to me. Next season we're going to play Cardiff in the league and we're going to play Luton in the league. To me, they're Championship clubs.
Look at us under company though in the Championship. We had 6 loanees, went to the Premiership, signed one on a permanent, and we had one of the worst Premier League seasons ever recorded. So Leighton Orient have a lot of work to do if they do get there. A lot of work to do, especially when you've got the likes of Plymouth in there now. Sorry, they'll be in Championship, won't they? But if they do it.
Plymouth have gone down.
I was thinking if they don't do it, even if Leighton Orient don't do it, you've got the likes of Plymouth in there under the new manager. That's probably going to be one of those clubs that you think are going to.
Oggy pasties, anyone?
I think you'll have to go down, like. It's a long way, but
just a final thing from me, really, on it, and I know a lot of our fans won't agree, but just as a well done to Wrexham. We've had it's a circumstantial rivalry we've had over the last few years. And I hope you do well. But also, I have to say, James McLean last night put up a post saying good night. And it was when he was blowing a kiss at our fans after they beat us. You know, when he'd got that dodgy penalty.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, I howled laughing at that. He got so many bites. But I thought, you know what? Again, it's that shithousery and I love it.
There's no bigger shithouse than James McLean.
I know. So to the likes of like Argyle, Gaz Evans, who I have got a friendship with over the last few years, who is an amazing person, go and enjoy it. Like, you've been in through the shit as well. And it's another example of clubs that can come out of the doldrums and like go up and up and up. Yeah. So like enjoy it and stop giving us shit now. Like the amount of mentions I had last night. That was my fault for that video I posted a few years ago, but let's just let bygones be bygones and have a year off now, yeah, Aled? Deal? Deal.
And that's mad, by the way, as well. I just seen something random on Twitter. Apparently, Wrexham went to play Tom Kearney, isn't it? 50k.
Oh, do you know about 33?
But that's mad, isn't
it? That's got to just be a rumour, surely.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's about 33, 34. Why are you paying 50k a week for someone like that?
Yeah, that's a lot of money, that. It's a lot of money. It's like, it's one of them statement signings, in it, but it's not really. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, it's like, oh, he'll do all right. He's done it before, but yeah, like 10 years ago. Different player now, isn't he? Before we move on, because I forgot to mention when we were in League Two, obviously Pepper sent us something regarding Accrington and Stanley, and there was obviously the stuff we had on last week, and obviously Pepper was really emotional regarding what's going on. And I know she sent you something, hasn't she, Claire? So we'll get that out of the way before I kind of, burst and talk about Sunderland.
Sorry, Rebecca. So Rebecca has said that their retain list has come out, and thankfully they do have a team for next season. But it really, really hurt her having to say goodbye to Seb, who's been a favourite since he signed for the club. And she wanted to say thank you and how much he meant to her, how much he supported her with everything whilst he was there, including obviously her game too, and somebody that she sponsored as well. So she's really sad about Seb leaving. She said the club captain and absolute club legend, Seamus Keneally, is leaving as well. But there has been some good news with Sean Whaley.
Sean Whaley
signing a new contract, and also Dan Martin and Conor Grant have been offered contracts, so just waiting on news from the club as to whether they've signed. So we do have a lot of players already under contracts, with the likes of Tyler Walton and Ben Woods, who were standouts this season for them. And there is also an update to the academy. The council are looking into ways to help fund it for next season, so we don't have to see it go. But they've just got to wait and see what happens. But it's more positive news than it sounded last week. So
definitely.
Fingers crossed for a better season for Accrington as well next season.
Yeah, big news as well. Don Love's there for another year, so I know Jen can't stand him, but he's just he's
not in my league anymore. Couldn't care less.
He's an absolute dream, both of a man. Just a quick one. Hi, just spotted your live stream and spotted a fellow Macam. Hello. What a night Tuesday was. Still haven't come down from it. Well, we are about to talk about it. We'll have to get Sheffield United out the way first.
Don't talk about something. Go on.
Nah, get Sheffield United out of the way. Because their tie was a little bit of a. I know Bristol City have done really well, but it was a bit of a non-event. I think it was ruined by the first leg. Obviously, that the red card decision, which was
ludicrous
for me, ridiculous. The lad's gone through. It was Rob Dickey one. Rob Dickey's went to play the ball, missed, took Keith Moore down. It's a penalty. Don't get us wrong. But we're meant to have that double jeopardy ruling now where you're meant to give the penalty or a yellow card but not the red. I think it just spoiled the game. I don't know about you guys. And Sheffield United are a good side anyway with 11-on-11. With 11-on-10, it was just going to go one way, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sheffield United have been plucky this year. I mean, don't get me wrong. Bringing back Chris Wilder, I had questions on that. Whether is he really going to be the man that spearheads an overhaul in the squad, brings in certain players, and even the players they brought in, I thought, they don't seem to me like players you'd sign that are going to get you promoted and be players that you play out and out, week in, week out in the Premier League, until the back end of the transfer window when O'Hare came in and players like that. But fair play to Sheffield United. They've, after the loss to us, and cementing themselves in the playoffs, I thought they had to try and find some momentum from somewhere, because it just was lacking. They're on a bit of a downward spiral. I really wanted Bristol City to do it. Oh, I said to you one earlier, a Bristol Sunderland final. I don't care who comes up because I want the two of you, out of the four. But just Bristol City absolutely didn't turn up at all. I mean, for a good 10 minutes, maybe a good 10-minute spell, the sending off was massive. Don't get me wrong, it 100% was. But you expect a bit better in the playoffs. You can just tell what teams come on leaps and bounds as the season's gone on. When the likes of Kiefer Moore are bagging, I mean, he is an handful. He's a lanky streak of piss, and you've got Gustavo Hamer, who just reminds me of a modern day Robbie Blake. He's just. There's some players at Sheffield United that are the reason why Sheffield United are there. It's more based on certain players, not the whole team collective at Sheffield United. But I think it'll stand Bristol City in good stead. This playoff opportunity, they probably did not expect to be anywhere near it. I thought they'd put a lot better showing in than they did, especially after being 2-0 down against Preston on the final day, coming back to draw 2-2, get themselves and cement that 6th place. Thought, right, this is it. We kick on. We've got that drive. It just wasn't meant to be for them, but I think Liam Manning is definitely going to be the man to spearhead them next season into thinking more positive, and let's see what will be. But yeah, Chris Wilder, can't stand him. Bit of an arrogant tosser, but is what it is. He's been bitter ever since we rejected him for the Burnley job, so he can do one for all that.
Do you think it was though with Bristol City, and I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, why I was so relaxed about Sunderland's form was Bristol City have had to pretty much play the best 11 for the last 6 weeks or so. They've had to, and they really have had to, work hard to get in to the playoffs, as you mentioned before, coming back from 2-0 down to Preston, stuff like that. They've had some big games, and they've ran up mountains for the gaffer. Do you think they just ran out of steam? Yeah, that's all. Well, I know the red cards ruined it, but that one that he just immediately deflated, and even in the second leg, that had a little bit of a goal, but it was all just too comfortable, wasn't it? And I think it's just one of them ones where, oh my word, there's been a goal. There's been a goal in Charlton.
There's been a goal, Chris.
Graham.
Something's happened.
Oh my word. Go on, Graham. Matty Godden. Go on, Matty Godden, lads. The one good thing about that, I know there's some Sunderland fans in the chat. But I've got every feeling that Wickham will probably sack Mike Dodds if they don't go up. And we'll have him back as a coach because I absolutely love that man. So fingers crossed.
They're not creating what they did.
No.
Before. They're not creating what they did before he left.
But when we had, Mike Dodds is a wonderful coach, right? One of the best coaches in the game. He's responsible for the Bellinghams, this, that, and the other, Birmingham, right? But when we had him as manager last year, it was very much the same, where it was we're trying not to concede, but we've got nothing going forward, and he hasn't got any plan B's and all that stuff. But we'll have him back. We'll have him back in open arms at Sunderland. Because I absolutely adore the man.
I'm laughing at Charlton's manager. I have never seen a reaction like it to that.
Oh God!
It was brilliant.
Oh, Graham, lad. Graham's over the moon. Man's Dodds. But
there's absolutely a meme coming out of it as well, because there's a very overweight man with his shirt off.
Oh, that was me on Tuesday.
No.
I'm only slightly overweight. It's amazing what he does to you, man. It's just amazing.
Football.
Absolutely amazing.
Nova Sport grips you like it.
Right. Graham's probably broke his specs, bless him.
In the air.
Just
to finish off, B&Q for a new lampshade tomorrow.
just to finish off as well on Sheffield United and Bristol, Jen. We mentioned about Bristol, and Dan's Dan's mentioned it there. What a fantastic season for them, though. Like, this will stand them in massive good stead for next year. And it's good to see as well a team like them who are, they're not, there's not that much money behind them, but they've grafted their way into a really, really good season, and fair play to them. Like,
yeah, I think obviously you're used to your Sheffield United and Sunderland's been up there, going back to the Premiership, to see a different side like them up there and in the playoffs was definitely exciting to watch. And like you said, it's grafting. If you've got a team and you've got a manager that can work hard, why can you not be up there fighting with the rest of the big teams?
They might lose some players though, like the left back. He's like a goal scoring left back. I can't remember his name, but he was phenomenal against us when we played him. Like both times, absolutely brilliant. And the goalkeeper's excellent as well. So they might lose a couple of players, but when you've got Rob Dickie at the back though, he's still capable of pinging in a goal from 35 yards. So it was just a shame. Like I said, I think it was just a shame that red card was the end of the tie for me. And obviously they give a good goal, but the one thing that worries us going in, I'll mention it quickly now, but obviously us playing, we've had 90 minutes down at Coventry where we've worked out one of them off, and 120 minutes at home when we've worked that off. Sheffield United have had relatively a decent. They've kind of cruised through, so they're going to be very fresh. Whereas we've got 10 days to get it back in us, but we'll see what happens. But yeah,
it could be overconfidence though, and when it comes to that final, it could be very much overconfidence. It's like 3 in the first, like 3 in the second. Let's just let Wembley take care of itself. And as they can see from the way you had that game against Cov, and the way we were speaking about earlier, teams that are just invite the pressure but sucker punch you. Sheffield United will have to be on high alert because Sunderland will do that to you.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. And that's where we've been. You watched us when we nearly did it against Burnley. We missed 2 penalties towards the end, and it was a perfect game plan. We let you huff puff and try and blow the house in. It didn't happen. And then we went and nearly got the sucker punch. And we've done that so many times this season. And this from Sam, Liam Manning, sensational what's happening to him and his family, totally agree. They signed no one in January. No one. And you saw how many, some teams who spent big, you look at the likes of like teams who didn't make, like Borough, who've spent a fortune this season, haven't made it.
I think they've had 6 or 7 injuries since January, since the end of January as well.
Yeah.
And still managed to achieve playoffs. I mean, that's something, is that?
Yeah. And I hope next year they're back amongst it, because it's nice, it's refreshing, isn't it, to see a team like that who have done it. We've got just very quickly on the Dale game. It is in the 100th minute. There's only 6 minutes added time. We're in the 10th minute now, and it's still 3-3. So that looks like it's heading through extra time.
It is. They're just about to kick off for extra time.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go then. This hasn't updated then, his bloody flash squad. They've got 90 plus 11.
Yeah, man.
Bob's
been behind on them all night as well.
Ah, cool. Right. There we go. Did you mean Dickie who was sent off in the first? Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. But let's talk about Sunderland. And I will say, obviously, Claire, with you being absolutely devastated about Stockport last night, I've got to give you massive, massive credit for coming on tonight, because it looks as if a couple of people in the chat haven't decided to make tonight, which is what it is, I guess. But I've still not recovered from Tuesday. I'll go into Friday first, because obviously going into the week,
you're a right shit house.
Yeah, I know I am.
Some have just avoided it. Some have got job interviews. It's just all going off in the chat.
I've got the James McLean book of how to be a shit house man. But going into the week, and obviously I work for another podcast, Roker Report and stuff like that, where we've done a couple of interviews now. And we interviewed a Coventry fan on Tuesday leading up the game, and and this was pretty much everything I was reading on Twitter. Everything I was seeing, even from Coventry fans, was, we're really looking forward to playing Sunderland, because they've not beat us for years. We hammered them 3-0 at our ground like less than 3 months ago. We've got the team to beat Sunderland, this, that, and the other. And you know what? I was nervous. I must admit, out of every one of the teams I wanted to play in the playoffs, Coventry were probably near the bottom because of that record and stuff like that. And it's, you know, there's a rivalry and all of that bollocks, to be honest. But it was, you know, it's a difficult place to go down there, and we're all concerned about, you know, we've had injuries, we've had this, we've had that, and what team we put out. And to be fair to Regis, he's had a lot of stick the last few months because we haven't hit form. We've rested players, we've done this, we've done that, but we went into the playoffs in fourth place. But I think we'd lost 5 in a row. We weren't in absolutely no momentum whatsoever. But over the 2 legs, and I will talk about Friday first, for me, goes to prove that momentum in football means absolutely shit, to be honest. Because on Friday night, we defended like tremendously. We gave Coventry very, very little. And a lot, yes, I am, by the way, Alan. Well, a lot of people who have watched the game have said, well, Coventry dominated. Yeah, Coventry had a lot of the ball. They didn't dominate the game. You know what I mean? They had 2 shots on target. One of them was the goal. We played a superb game. We took everything that they had in the first half. We sat back. We let them have the ball. They couldn't break our lines. Everything that I thought like Sakamoto had a really, really good game for them. But everyone else, like the Ben Chiefs, who was meant to be brilliant, you know, Jack Radoni had a decent game, and I really like Jack Radoni. But we just took all that pressure, and then once it hit 60 minutes, it was like, right, we're gonna like have a go now, and we did. We got a goal through Wilson Isidore, and if you think Graham shouted loudly tonight, I woke my next door neighbours up. How loud I shouted when Wilson Isidore's goal went in, and I thought, you know what, we've absolutely, hit the biggest sucker punch known to man, and then we concede a really, really soft goal. It's the first time we switch off, and when is the most ridiculous time to concede a goal? After you've just scored, because everyone's just obviously, you know, that happy. I mean, I just stopped celebrating, sat back down, they'd scored, and I thought, you know what, a point's mint, right? A draw's mint. You know what I mean? Go back to steam, like, we'll have them. You know, that's how confident I was. I was like, we'll have them. And then we get, you know, a ridiculous back pass from Van Erwijk, who I know Coventry fans were giving a little bit of stick, but he was class for both games. Mayender's got in. Mayender's took the goalkeeper on. Bang in. 2-1. That was just class. Which takes us on to Tuesday. And I've supported this club for 39 years. And I have never, ever, and I'm getting fucking emotional here talking about it. I have never seen a better atmosphere post-match, pre-match, post-match in my life. Everything, the fans, the players, the back staff, everything was perfect. Like they did the whole, like, they lined up the streets for the team bus going in. You know, there was like smoke coming up with flares and everything like that. Which must make them players feel 10 feet tall, you know, seeing, you know, the fans doing that and stuff. Before the game, they dedicated one of the stands, the West Stand, to Jimmy Montgomery, who was our goalkeeper in 1970. Obviously made that double save. If you haven't seen it, go on YouTube. Just tremendous, and not been a better save since. You know, absolutely brilliant. And he got that stand, and it was like, you know, your Jordan Pickfords there, your Jermaine Defoe's, your Mickey Gray's, your Peter Reed's, your Amad Diallo, who was there, the best loan player we've ever had. It just all set up, and then when the players come out, it was like fire, and there was a big tifo that got brought down with a cat on, and then till the end and all that stuff. It was perfect, absolutely perfect before that game. And it made you, like Claire mentioned before, being proud. It made me just like, you know, it made me proud. I would have run through walls for anyone of that team on Tuesday night. And getting into the game, I thought it was a bit more the same of the Friday game. I thought we controlled it really well. We had a couple of chances. I think Ben Wilson's made a really good save from Eliza Mayenda. And we made the wrong decisions when we had the ball, and we were trying we were trying to there was some couple times when Mayenda had it and he kept his head down where he stole was a pass, and we just made it a little bit too late. And you could tell we got a little, we were getting a little bit nervous in ourselves. I got to half time, I thought, yeah, I'm still happy. We'll get a goal here. We're all right. And then I've got to give Coventry credit for this. Fair play to them. From the 45th minute to when they scored, they were outstanding. They took control of that game. They were winning all the midfield battles. The wingers were getting more and more forward, and they were sending us further back. And I'd said to me, I hadn't said a minute. I said they're going to score here, and then they go and score through. I think it was Blake wanted to put it in. Really nice finish. Thought again we switched off. And then we were just waiting for the subs to come, and Regis was a little bit. He's always a bit slow making subs, but you could tell he was like, "We're going to have to take extra time here." You can. Yeah, that's on Twitter somewhere. I'm just going to star a couple of these because I need to. There we go. Because Sam's put quite a few in. I like to say when they scored. I forgot to mention this. Alex has put this in. Credit for Sunderland for bringing the advertising boards close to the pitch to stop the Coventry long throw.
Another bit of shit housing.
I was reading on Friday on the build up of the game. I was like, well, they're not very good anyway. It never happened. He didn't take one long throw, not one in that game. So of course, to show that again, and we deliberately turned the heating up in there. Dressing room and something about the water. I think they didn't drain the water.
Oh my god!
So
Charlton
have won. Oh well, congratulations, Graham. Gutted for Dodsey, but congratulations, Graham. I might see you at Wembley. Might see him there on the Sunday after we've won.
Pitch invasion! You love to see it.
Oh, for God's sake!
Oh yes.
But yeah, I've just started. There we go. But then, like I say, it goes in extra time. He brings on Chris Rigg, and then in the first couple of minutes of extra time, brings on Romain Mundle. And that's what won us the game because we made very good reactive substitutions, whereas I don't think Lampard made the correct subs. As in, he brought Brandon Thomas-Asante on, which I thought was a bit more the same. And in 2 games, they've spent 8 million on Ellis Sims, and Ellis Sims is ex-Sunderland, and every time an ex-Sunderland player comes and plays against Sunderland, he scores, and he did not play 1 minute in that game, and I thought that was a mistake from Frank Lampard, I've got to be honest. But you could tell Coventry were getting tired. I thought we took over in extra time. I did forget to mention just before the final whistle went, Edgy Wright missed an absolute sitter, which he's got to score, to be fair, but Ballard puts him off and it ends up going well wide, but he's got to score that. And I think that was that was the big game changer there. The actual tears, oh bless you, Graham. That was me on Tuesday, just bringing it all back. And then a little bit of breaking. I don't know if you know this guy, Stephen Fletcher has left Wrexham.
I don't think he'd have cut it in Championship anyway. What is he, 36, 37?
Yeah, he's about my age, isn't he? So yeah. He has got great hair now, though, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, back from his days at Burnley, we're completely shaved like Shane Warne.
Oh, no.
Wow, what the hell is going on here?
No.
Oh, I've stopped the Southend scored.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
Set piece. Awful defending again.
Oh, Shaw.
Oh,
All going wrong with it. It hasn't even updated on Flash Score. I'm going to have to refresh that. I don't know.
Oh, that was awful.
Claire, is your Mickey Mouse Teddy talking?
Yeah, it's still not updated on this, so it must be very.
Boy, hurt you.
But that's sad, isn't it? That's so sad about Dale. It's another one of them, isn't it, where we've got a happy family and then a sad family on the same show. But well done about now. It's extra time, and we started making them chances in the second half of extra time. We just looked to get them. Mundell got a lot of the ball. I think Chris Rigg played really, really well when he came on. Enzo Lafayette was starting to get into those positions where he was looking dangerous. At least one Coventry fans here. Fair play to him. Oh no, playoffs. There we go. Fair play for coming, Glenn. You know what I mean? I've got to say that. Good luck in the final, and thank you very much, mate. Because a lot of Cov fans I've seen on Twitter are like, "Oh, we hope Sheffield United stuff them now."
That's classy. That.
Yeah, so fair play. I'll applaud that. Thank you, really, and I really hope as well that Lampard stays at Coventry because I think he's.
Can I just say something about that game?
Yes.
Your captain, forgotten his name. What's he called? Daniel. What an absolutely classy man he is. Like, obviously, put the game aside. By the way, the absolute scenes from every part of the Sunderland fans in that ground. Wow. But your captain, at the end of the match when he was interviewed and he was asking about this, that. Every single question was about what the other guys had done, what other players are leaders, who did this. Never once gave himself any credit whatsoever.
Mm.
And mentioned everybody's name, didn't he? And basically give them the limelight.
Yeah,
brilliant.
It was so classy. And I thought, do you know what? That's a leader. That's a proper leader. Selfless, putting everybody in front of himself. Clearly, absolutely buzzing as well, by the way.
And he's a man as well. So
I know. I was going to say, he said, "I'm from here. I get it. I know what it means to support this club." But I just wanted to say, like, how amazing he came across in his interview, because I thought, fair enough. Like, there's so many things you could do, but as your captain, praise everybody else and not say one thing about himself or his own game. Just thought, fair play to him for that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know what? Again, and it made me emotional watching, because obviously, you know, we're both Mackhams and we both, you know, he's been like, I remember him in the, they always bring the picture up of him and Sam Greenwood, who no longer plays for us now. Picture of them two at the League Cup final when we got beat off City, and he's only a kid, and he's like, he's living the dream, isn't he? You know what I mean? That's what I wanted to do when I was young. I wanted to captain Sunderland, and he's living the dream. And it's class, you know. It's class to see that he's managing to do. He's living every Mackham's dream, and he's a class footballer. I thought, to be honest, I thought he actually had a bad game on Tuesday. So I'm not too it. I thought Job helped them out far. I thought Job was outstanding. But
what an outstanding player he is as well, by the way.
Phenomenal.
And I'm not digging anybody's specific out, but can we please all stop saying is living off his brother's name? Is living off his own name, and
there's a reason he doesn't have the surname on the back of the shirt, because he's said from the start he wants to be known as Job and Job alone.
Yeah,
he's an incredible player.
Identity.
Do you know what it is as well? And I was going to leave this for after, because I still haven't mentioned the goal yet, but I will go into Joe Bellingham, because I've been on Twitter and I think I agree with that. You need to stop staying in him, but what we've got to do is stop comparing the two. Because Jude Bellingham is a 10. That's where Jude plays. He plays just behind the striker for Real Madrid, for England, this, that, and the other. Job Bellingham is a number 8. So he's a completely different player. And what Job does, with Jude gets forward at every opportunity. Job always helps out at the back. So he's going out there, he's winning tackles, he's putting his body in. And that's not what Jude does not do that. You know what I mean? Job puts everything on the line. I'm not saying Jude does that because he does, but like, Job is more of a winner of the ball, a stopper of attacks than what Jude Bellingham is, and they're both making their way in different circumstances. But the fact that the dad watches, and the fact that Job's mum was there on
that my heart.
Absolutely amazing. And if you watch, I've watched so many reactions to the goal, but Job's actually crying when we score. You know what I mean? If he hasn't bought into this, then why has he, like I said, does that? And Glenn's put there, he's more of a Declan Rice, and I totally agree with that. Agree with that. And for me
it's
as
like
well,
airing chalk and cheese in it.
Yeah, and for me, do you know what as well? I just want him. I want him to be known as Joe Bellingham, not Jude's brother, not this, that, and not compared to this and the other. He's Joe Bellingham. He's a fucking good footballer. That's all I'm honest. Like, he's had scouts from Dortmund watching both of those games. Scouts from Dortmund aren't going to go and watch him just because he's Jude's brother. They've actually seen it. They've watched him play football. And, this one from Big Girls Really Do Cry. Like, they're such a lovely team of lads who have a huge connection with each other, and the fans and the celebration showed that. And again, I saw them talk about the goal, but it's something I do want to talk about. Like, we've gone through the last, 7 or 8 years before Kirill Louis-Dreyfus took over the club. We have got like the likes of Darren Gibson, who came for a payday and, drove his car into someone else and all this stuff. They came for massive money. They came and they took the piss. Likes of him, Stephen Pienaar and Will Grigg and players like that who just did not give a shit about this badge. We have got a group of players who will run through walls for each other and will run through walls for the fans. And that's all we ask for as Sunderland supporters, is that you give everything for the badge. And they do. And that's why we love them. You know what I mean? I'll be gutted whoever. Players are going to leave, no matter what league we're in. Players will leave. But it's just at the minute. And I'll get back to the game because I do have to talk about the goal. And I think, this comment kind of brings me up. The last 15 minutes, we were the team that looked likely who were going to win. We had a little bit more about us. I think Coventry were tiring. I think Josh Eccles went off for them, which I thought made a big difference because he was class when he came on. He was, and I think he was the one who helped them turn the tide of the game. And he had to go off. I think he got injured. I think he took a knock, like making a tackle, and he had to go off. But we got a corner right at the end, and I'd said, this is it basically. This or nothing really, because I couldn't think of 5 penalty takers. And we were joking. We actually made a sub and we brought Leo Kjelder on. I was like, Leo Kjelder must be a penalty taker because he'd come on for a minute, and Kjelder and Hume do really well with the corner because they pin off and they make a little circle run where they run out the box and run back in, and it takes 3 Coventry players with them, and it leaves Ballard on his own. And Ballard's jumped up with it. He's jumped too early, so he's coming back down when the ball hits his head. And he's kind of in a folding deck chair kind of position like this. And it just goes in. I mean, it's pandemonium in that stadium. And I have never, and I say this as again, for being going since I was 6, so 33 years I've been going year after year after year. I have never heard a noise like that in that stadium. That was absolutely brilliant. Just everyone diving on top of each other, it was that roar, and that's why we go through this. That's why we go through the absolute crap of supporting football clubs, like with the 4 that we do, because they give you moments like that on Tuesday night, when Stockport got promoted. Morton will have the day again. Down with Burnley being promoted again. You live for these moments. This is why you go through the rain, the pissy down rain, the sleet and snow, the long bloody travels and stuff like that, for a moment like that. And that moment it'll never be beaten in my mind. Even if we go up, even if we get the Champions League or whatever, which won't happen, but if anything happens, that moment will stay with me for the rest of my life, because I've never felt anything like that in my life. It was just pure, unadulterated, mad joy. And I've never, unless, whenever I'm lucky enough to have a child or whatever, that moment won't be. And it was unbelievable. And to see, and Claire mentioned it before, he used all as well, going get in, Ant, this, that, and the other. It was class. It was just mint. I just absolutely adored it. But going on to, and then obviously afterwards, the players celebrating, Ballard's in the crowd, everyone's in the crowd. We did pitch invade, which I hate, and
get a grip.
But I would love to pitch invade. When we got promoted, we couldn't do it because of COVID, so I would love to do it.
Just a few idiots, and I've got to say, a few of them went over the Coventry players, and I thought that was ridiculous. And I'm sorry to any Coventry player who got stick because it's shit. Because we've been in that situation before where we've been on the floor and we've not had players or fans come up to us like that. So I don't think that should happen, because that's a team. And I will say, for Coventry, the job that Lampard has done at that football club has been absolutely amazing. That was a fairy tale story. Unfortunately, we had to end it. I didn't agree with him. I didn't agree with his post-match comments when he said they were the better. They controlled the game. This, that, and the other controlled the tie. I think it was a good tie between two teams who played differently. And we we were lucky to be better. I thought we were lucky to come out with it. I thought we were better on Friday than what we were on Tuesday. But I think if you look at the tie on balance, penalties might have been the fair result. But that's football. It happens. But I think Coventry will come back next season. I think they'll be a team to watch, to be honest. And it'll give Lampard a transfer window where he can bring his own team in. I think they'll do really well. But I just didn't agree with his comments on Tuesday night. As Ryan put there, fully fit squad attributed for the best club in the playoffs. Do you think 4-4-2 again with Mundell back would find out the fear where he needs to be? Yes, I think we will play 4-4-2 because we played 4-4-2 against them at home at the start of the year and we beat them 2-1. So I think it'll be more the same where we we'll have to soak up a lot of pressure and there's Kiefer Moore to deal with. But when we've got a player like Dan Ballard, who I think won every header that came into his way on Friday and Tuesday. I mean, there was only one player who was going to score for us, and that was Dan Ballard. And he's only had 30 minutes of football prior to the playoffs. He'd been out for a little while. And for 2 games, and this is a big call to drop Chris Mepham, who's been brilliant for us, to bring Ballard in, but that was phenomenal.
He said that himself, didn't he, as well? He said that himself. He said that, I was surprised to even get the call the way that Chris Mepham's played all season.
Yeah.
So fair play to him.
Yeah, I mean, they can't drop him. They can't drop him from the final. He should be the first name on the team sheet, won't he? I hope he doesn't get injured. But Spenny Chris has finally joined us. We haven't got long left, Chris. But just finished World Cup, everyone as well. We're fine. Thank you very much, sir. And obviously, I just want to say as well, commiserations on at the weekend. But I thought your fans and the town of Spennymoor did yourself proud on Saturday. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, I boxed out with Spennymoor, so thought it was excellent. So it is what it is. Has Anne finished talking goal? Yes, I have. So going into the final, tickets bought, trains bought, hotels bought, cost a fucking fortune.
Priceless.
Yeah.
It's remember.
Even if you lose, it's still priceless.
Yeah. You know what? I actually think we can do it. I was more worried about Coventry than I am Sheffield United. Because we've beat Sheffield United this season. We should have got a draw against them at their ground, and we actually played really, really well at their ground. They've got players that can hurt us, of course. They have, like Callum O'Hare, Gustavo Rema, Kiefer Moore, Raksati on the wings and stuff. Burrows, who I think is a wonderful footballer. But we've also got players who can hurt them. And I think if we do what we did against Coventry, I think we'll win. So I'm nervous, don't get us wrong. I'll be more nervous when the week comes in. But you know what? Like, considering 4 years ago we're in League One, to be having 3 seasons in the Championship, to hit playoffs 2 years out of 3, I think is brilliant. And I think this club's, even if we don't go up, I would fancy us to win the league next year. I'm not worried about any of the 3 teams going down. I just think we're in a really, really good place now. And I think the stars have aligned a little bit for us. I really do. I think the whole thing of going into the playoffs with that momentum where he knew he was resting places, I think has worked a treat. And we'll find out next Saturday. Look, whatever happens, I'll be so proud of them. I'm not at the point where I don't care, because I would like to see us go up. I would like to see us win at Wembley. But have you heard what's happened with... So if you go at Wembley, obviously you get assigned each stand. So you get the East stand and the West stand. We've got the West stand. So going around to the west side of Wembley. And
really? Is that what the East stand means, Anne?
Yeah. So it's going on, yeah. So normally, obviously on Wembley, we divert the pubs, don't they? So the West side gets everyone on that side, East stand gets on that side. Box Park, which we had last time when we went to Wembley and played Wigan, we got Box Park. Now Sheffield United have been given Box Park, even though they're on the east side of the ground. It conspires that the managing director of Box Park supports Sheffield United. Wow. So hence why they've got that. I mean, it's going to cause mayhem, especially if there's, Aggie people, which there will be, you know what I mean? Because it's literally going to fill there where United fans who are in Box Park, and Box Park's a big place, they're going to come out to go to the stadium and hit the same place we're going to hit when we're going into the stadium as well. So it's going to cause there will be fights because, drink takes over, this, that, and the other. But see what happens. But as Ryan put on here, I'm convinced we're losing Job in the summer. It doesn't matter what. I agree with that. I think he's going to Dortmund. But I'm just glad we've played a part in his development, and we've seen a wonderful footballer come from it. I really have. We've got a surprise place of Laura Toma. I think it's mad. It's obviously a backhand at the council in it, but I don't care. We've got Trafalgar on Friday night, so I don't care. It's overrated anyway, Box Park. It's fucking fortune.
Is he smiling? It looks like he's smiling.
Yeah, he is, yeah. He's talking about something. He must be a Sunderland fan. But that's all I've got on that. I think I've spoke for too long. So
no, you
I think I've got everything in though. So
good luck. I hope you win.
Me too.
I hope we do as well, but we'll see what happens. I'm just glad to be. I'm glad that we're there.
Wait, I don't hope you win. Do you know why? This show.
Probably. Yeah. Do you know what? I think, and I mentioned before, they're going in. They're going in maybe with some overcomes, going in a little bit fresh. But it's football, and I think, and it kind of, it's weird to say because they finished above us in the league, but I actually think we're a better side than them. So I think it'll be a good game, but we'll see what happens. There's a meme out that says people who want Sheffield United to win is Sheffield United. People who want Sunderland win. Obviously, and Sheffield, the rest of Yorkshire and all of England, even the Geordies. I think some Newcastle fans want us to win because they want the derbies back.
Yeah,
and I think it's to a point now where it was always going to happen because the club was, too big for it not to happen. But it's taken us to go down 2 divisions. It's taken us to get rid of 2 absolutely shocking owners. And get Kirill in, who's done he's done a great job. I think hiring Christian Speakman, who does the signings, has been a work of art. And the players that they've got, and they've brought players who play for that first and not in the checkbook second, which is what it is. And we're going to lose players. We're going to lose players for a lot of money though, and it's going to make us sustainable. And if that means us missing out this year, then that's fair enough. Because I think we'll go up. We'll go up when we're ready. If we're ready now, fair play. But I'm also in the same mind as Dan. Like, I don't want to get twatted every week. And the main thing was, and it was this, to get the club in a healthy place again. And that's where we are now. It's a team to be proud of. The fans have come back and the fans are on side. And, I don't want to say we're like, we're hardly dealt a bad hand and stuff because there's teams in a lot worse positions than us. But where we were 4 years ago, and I was sad. You know what I mean? Just watching them and getting beat off, and again, no disrespect, but getting beat like the Cheltenham Town and their players doing the fucking Shiva celebration every week was just doing me nothing. And the fact that we got up and we've just stayed where we are. And I'm just so proud. I'm chuffed to bits. And official announcement: Dan and Ant are free to be on whatever show they like. They were never the show. Just visit me on a Tuesday on occasions. Yeah. Yeah.
Question to you guys though: if you had to pick a player of the season this year, who would you pick?
For our own teams?
Yeah.
Ethan Pye. No question.
Yeah.
He got a
sure, I would argue with that. She'd say Rochdale Pye's a lot better. But
you know what? He's actually won Player of the Season, Young Player of the Season, and Player of the Season.
Wow.
Yeah.
Clean sweep.
Yeah. Jen, who would you say?
Tom White. Every day.
He's signed a new contract, hasn't he? So
yes.
That's great news.
Back next year. He's currently suning it up in Gracie, but he'll be back soon.
Dan, what about you?
I'm torn between Esteve at the back because I think he's been solid as shit, but I've got to say probably Josh Brownhill because to score 15 goals as a midfielder this campaign, be third in the top goal scorers. He's not really had a lot of goals to his game, but he's always wanted to add goals to his game, and now he's been given that freedom to do that. I say that as he's now out of contract and leaving on a free. Yeah, so we've got Brownhill available on a free, CJ Egan-Riley available on a free. It's a bit of a fucker really for the lads at Turf Moor having to pick out contracts and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd probably say Brownhill for me.
Yeah, any truth in the Egan-Riley to Strasbourg rumours? I mean, that'd be a shame, wouldn't it?
I think it would be. I can understand why he'd go there though. The chance of European football. They're part owned by Blueco, which is they're owned by Blueco, who are part owners of Chelsea. So they've got money behind them to make the signing. It's just hard dealing with. According to the club, it's hard dealing with CJ Egan-Riley because his agent is his mum. So it must be difficult. She'll want the best deal, the most money. I want to make sure he's secure. It must be really difficult from a club's perspective to be dealing with an agent that's a parent. So
yeah,
I'm torn between two. I think Trey Hume, 100%. Because
that's a cracking shout. That?
I think every week he puts in like massive challenges and stuff. And even when we were playing badly, he was still playing well. He was scoring goals, and big girls do cry. I kind of agree with that. Last few days, it's 100% been Dan Ballard. I think Trey Hume, because I think for someone, because Trey Hume we've always known being a class player, but for someone, we signed him last year. He went on loan to Hibs and then wasn't getting a game of Hibs under 23s. For someone who's developed a lot this season under Register Breeze being Eliza Mayenda. And Eliza Mayenda now is our best striker. And bearing in mind we've got bearing in mind we've got Wilson Isidore who has been scoring goals, and there was a hoo-ha and big song and dances about him. I think Mayenda's been absolutely outstanding, and I think we probably wouldn't be talking about a playoff final if it wasn't for Eliza Mayenda's goal right at the end. But I think he's been absolutely outstanding. And he's got a mint song. So, yeah, I think him. But shall we wait until Rochdale's finished before we leave? Because there's not many.
I think we should.
It's left, is there? It's like literally in the last couple of minutes, isn't it? So
you can tell Rochdale are pushing for it. They're really pushing for it. Every loose ball, trying to attack. Southend are trying to time waste now and
throwing themselves on the floor every opportunity.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I really do feel for Charlotte. She's watching this tonight. Probably shivering her tits off now at this time.
Shivering her tits off. Come on, it's like the height of summer here.
It is warm,
yeah, which is still probably about -5 up north. So
yeah, it's not that warm.
I was at the game last night with a t-shirt on. I didn't have a jacket or anything.
Adrenaline does that to you, though, Claire. Adrenaline does that.
Thanks,
but
Sam.
who knows? We could have another Sunderland thing. We could have another Sunderland situation. Dying minutes. You never
come
know.
on, Dale. Come on.
3 minutes.
Get Dan Ballard on. Just very quickly for the Tuesday, I know they cover the other leagues in Europe. Barcelona have won the league, so fair play to them. I like Barcelona. Lovely city.
I prefer Barca over Real Madrid.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've always preferred Messi to Ronaldo, haven't I? So,
yeah.
We want a double Desmond right now. Yes, we do. Come on, Dale. Suck it in.
To be fair, I'd say Rochdale's downfall in this game probably was the substitutions. I think that's what's cost them. But Shaw said that over the course of the season as well, that Jim McNulty's been made the odd wrong substitution. It's cost them in games. So I fully expect us to probably say the same.
There's a nice comment from Alan as well, Claire. Want to say all the best to you for next season. Yeah, that's nice.
All aboard HMS Pitch the League, innit?
I know.
Firstly, though, all aboard the Pinatar Express. I really wish I could go to Pinatar again because it was so good. But I'm going to Menorca and get back 3 days before that trip, so I don't feel like it's the best idea.
You've still got 2 days to decide before you go.
And my end was phenomenal. The way he read that back pass first play was amazing. On top of that, his pace and ability, his gut pass defenders, mental, and his strength. That's what's really come on with him this season. His strength to hold up the ball, whereas Wilson can't. Wilson sometimes just gets it and throws himself on the floor, which is he got booked for it, didn't he, on Tuesday night, which is a shocking, like a shocking thing to do because he was in on goal anyway. So he just kept going inside the dive, but there you go. Yeah, I'll quickly read off the end thing, which is if you do want to just, I know we've got a few new listeners and watchers tonight, so please give us a subscribe on the old YouTube and on everywhere really. But we are the Absolute Football Podcast. We're on a Monday with the Absolute Lower League, which is the National League North, National League South. Which is, a new one's been on a couple of weeks. It's been absolutely outstanding. I've really enjoyed listening to them. You get Jen on that one as well, the lovely Jen, along with our Shah and Ben and our newbies who have all, I think, have adapted really, really well to the podcast. So fair play to them. On Tuesday, it's your Premier League show and Europe show with the wonderful Sam and with everyone else and possibly me and Dan next season. And then on Wednesday, you've got Freya and Team Chaos with the Absolute Women's Football League show. I thought last night's was unbelievable. One of the best shows that's done. That was a brilliant, brilliant show with Freya and, like support myself sometimes, even though I haven't been on for a while. But yeah, I mean, it's full time.
Yeah.
Southend have got through to the next round of the playoffs. We've got it for our host, Shah. I can't see.
I hope they come up right. I hope Southend come up in every team in League Two in the North can suffer what we're suffering with Truro next season. That's a long ass trip. That
is a trek. Yeah. I just feel 3-1 up to 4-3 down. It's a killer.
Hold on. That's a perfect weekend away, Jen.
Southend,
I'm still going, but it doesn't make it any easier.
She's absolutely buzzing that she gets to go back on home soil to Rochdale.
Yeah, I get to go home to my mother and take my little brother to a football game. So win-wins.
I suppose the one good thing about it is Shah, who's doing amazing on the Monday pod as well as this pod, wouldn't have to have left the Monday pod after about 2 weeks, I suppose. But no, we've got it for her. We've got it for them. We've got it for Dylan. Yeah. We do have to, and I'm sure it'll be next week where we have to, because that's it now, and celebrate a wonderful, wonderful career for Ian Henderson. But I will give Shah that obligation next week because I think it needs to be a Hendo appreciation pod, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because what a man, what a player, what a man. But yeah, anyway, back to that on Thursday. It is Shah and all of us. We are your rowdy rabble. We're here every Thursday to talk about the Championship, League 1 and League 2. Obviously, next week we'll be previewing the playoff finals, and as I said, probably mentioning Hendo and everything like that. But yeah, give us a try. As Big Girls Don't Cry is done tonight. Big Girls Do Cry is done tonight.
Your name as well.
It's for absolutely free. So give us a listen. Thanks for everyone in the chat who's helped us along tonight and all season. You've been brilliant. But if you want to see more of Jen, where can we catch you?
Oh, it's Jen Hunt _ on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the good places. You will find me there.
And Claire, if we want to hear more of you, where do we go?
Claire _ Jeffs, or just open your ears. I'm loud enough. Oh, that's on Spotify.
And Dan, the Burnley man.
Everywhere but OnlyFans, at Turf Morehouse, all socials. You know what? I'm glad to start Port Laugh. Come on, Orion. I knew as soon as the sixth finger came out, I thought, shit out. You don't even have to hear her sometimes. You can sense it. It's coming.
Love you.
Love you too. No, seriously, just everywhere on there. We want a Danley. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Trust me.
I think it should just be you in a cap.
In a cap. There's a reason there was a song called "Leave Your Hat On," and but no, all over socials at Turf Morehouse, and hoping to get the channel revived and back up again for next season.
You might get me on next season.
No, I'll get you on anyway.
Oh, and you can find me.
Pre-season friendly.
You can find me. I'm at ant_Watson on Twitter and Blue Sky. If the Sunderland fans, and if you want to listen to the podcast about Sunderland women, we are at Howe Pod. It's obviously not happening at the moment because the season's finished. But if you want to subscribe to us, please subscribe to us. We're every Monday on what was Twitter Space, but I think we're gonna have to change it because we've had nightmares with that podcast the last couple of weeks. But more importantly, if you want to follow those wonderful people, as you can see on your screen now, we need a new one like the Monday one's got, because that is mint. You know what I mean? We need a new one. Some of our photos look ragged now, aren't they? It's been 2 years. And poor Danny Brothers is still going on. We are on X or Twitter. We're an Absolute Ball Pod. On YouTube, we're the Absolute Football Podcast. On Twitch, we're Absolute Football Podcast. On TikTok, we are at Absolute Football Pod. On Instagram, we are Absolute Football Podcast with an underscore on the end. And on Blue Sky, we're Absolute Football. And on Facebook, we are the Absolute Football Podcast. And new photographics already done, being held for next season. So there you go. New signings, new everything for next season.
The reason it's taking longer, Ant, is because they don't know which one to put yours in yet. So that's what we're holding out for.
You can put me in all four. I'm not bothered. I'll go ahead. Come on every night. Even about like needing marketing, absolutely. But yeah, like I say, thanks to everyone in the chat who's made it tonight. Obviously, I know you've been watching football, listening, but we really appreciate you taking the time out to listen to us. We will be back next week with Shaw back in the hot seat. Until then, have a wonderful week. We'll see you all soon. Take care. How are the lads?